Hi, welcome to another episode of I Was Here. I'm Renee.
I'm Jay.
And this is our weekly podcast where we talk about life in Jamaica as young professionals. So we're tackling all of life, relationships,
Friendships,
religion,
hardships,
sex, work-life balance,
yes,
mental health, everything.
finance.
Yes, we're touching on everything. And we usually kick things off with our In the Know segment, and this is where we talk about things that happened in the news recently that, got our brains or our emotions riled up.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that we have is about the racism that persons, especially Africans who are trying to leave Ukraine, are facing at the moment. What's your take on that?
For me, it was very sad because I'm thinking this is war.
Yeah.
Like, we're already going through enough for you to be blocking us. Like, we got
Yeah.
you. It's yes, yeah. We already know that there's oppression. We already know that it exists. Racism exists. But I'm saying, isn't there a time where we just pause it? Like, we couldn't pause it for the war?
No, because not even the news's coverage of it thinks that way. Because I've seen quite a few videos online where reporters are saying,
That's not the case. No, it's a war. Everybody's panicking. Me see it too.
No, not even that. But they're saying, this war, it's not like it's the war in Syria, or it's not like it's wars in Africa. These are blonde-haired, blue-eyed, middle-class people. And it's like,
what?
Okay. So, I mean, from the get-go, we kind of knew that was going to be the communication. Because as we said last week, is it a case where we're hearing so much about this? It's being teed up in the news. Because it's happening in Europe. There are wars happening around the world all day, every day.
Continuously, ever since Tam was a boy, yeah.
And,
but because this one is a European war. And it was so sad because there was this video I saw, I don't know if it's from TikTok or wherever, and they were literally blocking them.
Yeah. Literally
blocking them. And it's sad. I saw it on Amanda's page, because I follow Amanda, I love her so much. Amanda Seals.
Yeah.
And she was saying that it's ridiculous. And I'm thinking, when do we pause? Like, it's a war, everybody want to leave. Give me a break. Eat with tomorrow, G. Make we leave and then continue eat with tomorrow.
No, because that black person is going to take the space of a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed young woman or a young man that could have made it onto that train.
It matters
and
for them to continue.
It matters for them because I saw a video where I think it was this Congolese national. He was saying they were telling them that they should stay in Ukraine and they should fight. And the man is like, why must we fight? Under my country?
Ain't got time for this.
Under my country, it's not like you guys welcomed us here. It's not like you want us here.
Anyway,
you understand me? We want cut. Right? We want leave too.
And the Jamaicans said that they did not face that. They said they said they didn't face it. Nothing like that happened. So, but
yeah, I mean, obviously,
I think the media is doing a horrible job covering it. So
for sure,
minimizing it
for sure.
So it make it look like the African them cry wolf.
But also, I think for the Jamaican community in Ukraine, the diaspora is so tight-knit, because I've had friends who've gone to the Ukraine to study med, and it's really just people over there who've had the experience, who've, found the experience to be gratifying, that be like, hey, you can come here and study. And it's a very tight group for the Jamaicans.
Okay, that's nice.
I know furthermore, if me and one Jamaican and me so one next Jamaican on the road within our foreign country, and somebody at tussle, we're not gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
you understand, right? So maybe
we fight each other here,
right? But and sometimes overseas. But when push come to shove, we're there behind each other, right?
Yeah.
So
it was horrible to see all of that. Horrible. Horrible to see it.
But I think that we have to be careful how we kind of minimalize the suffering of dark-skinned people. Like, we don't necessarily take it seriously.
No, we don't. And I feel like we Jamaicans, or what you're referring to as we, because I feel like we don't take it seriously because we don't have it a lot here.
Mm.
We have more colorism here than anything else. So maybe that's why, it's on a back burner for us until you go exposed somewhere else and you be like, wow, them
That's
something
true.
really happen. Because here we know a colorism.
We mostly deal with prejudice versus racism.
Right. So we know so dominant, we go US and you go Europe and face it. So I feel like that's our problem. Because when people travel a lot and you hear them experience, you're like, wow, like me leave Jamaica where so much crime then come face this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why we don't take it so seriously. But once you expose, whether on social media or you travel, you start to this thing is real. But we just have to myself say, because we're not gonna stop it. I know there are a lot of people out there fighting the Amanda Seals and all the other persons on social media fighting, but it's not gonna stop. You have racist people everywhere. But me just think say a war, like you couldn't just pause it. Like when something bad is happening and you say, here what?
We should all unite.
We just unite.
Yeah.
We don't like you, but we just unite. No, even in a war. No. But my drop on this. Alright.
But yeah, I haven't seen much coverage from or local
only from
media.
Social media.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or local
Once
media.
again, social media.
About the war. I don't know if we care that much.
We better care.
Would we be wrong to not care that much? Yes. Tell me why.
Because one black person is all black person. I think we have this thing where we segregate too much. In Jamaica, we're not business about that. Mm-hmm. And it affects us all. We don't have clean energy. We don't have no energy at all. Mm-hmm. And the world, I don't think a lot of people understand that. The world depends on Ukraine for a lot of things.
As well as Russia.
And Russia. So the two of them, they're war now and we see them like, I do this. So, like, it affects everybody. And
I think for me, I'm coming from the angle of we've become so sensitized to everything to the point where we're desensitized.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
So it's the war now, and we're tuning in, we're clicking, we're trying to find out, but then a couple weeks later, it's going to be something else, and what's going to happen?
I saw a meme that speaks to that. The meme said, them not understand how millennials function because we're so sensitized to everything.
You're a millennial?
Yeah, me 30.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm
so.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
I got you mixed up with Gen Z.
No, girl. No, me not nothing like Gen Z. Lord of His mercy. Me not nothing like Gen Z. Gen Z is a whole nother cuckoo. But
you say cuckoo?
Yes, Gen Z is a whole. Hi, Gen Zers. But Gen Z is a whole other something. But what I was saying is, there's this meme where I said them not understand how millennials live through all of this. We live through everything. Like everything that's a drop on we one time. Bam, bam, bam. Racism, war, this, that, inflation, bam, bam.
And we carry it. Whereas Gen Z is like, no, I don't accept that.
It's giving shackles.
We don't claim it.
Yeah.
There needs to be a discussion about what is that called, by the way? Millennials, Gen Z, boomers.
What name again? Miss won't tell you.
Hold on. You have Google right at your fingertips. Give me a second.
Some generation, something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's some generation.
Okay, cool.
Generations, but it's funny, and what I love about Gen Z is that they are not taking some of the stuff that we cross so them can run.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, and I've had this conversation quite a few times with friends, and it's the previous generation learning from the previous generation, and then the current generation deciding what they want to take from those previous lessons.
Yes.
Right? I think with what was the generation before us?
Boomers.
That's it. They had to deal with
a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's the civil rights movement, the feminist movement. They had to really open
AIDS
those
crisis, the coke crisis they went through.
Crack everything. Yes. They had to really open the gates for all of that, and they had to piece themselves together through those
And
experiences.
raised with.
Right. Whereas we have the lessons that they learn from those experiences.
And the trauma from them.
That's the big one.
We have the trauma
That's
from
the
them.
big one. And because they didn't necessarily learn how to deal with their
We don't know
trauma,
how to deal with it.
we don't know how to deal with ours, but also it's us thinking that we have to hold on to it. Yeah. Whereas the generation after us, they're looking
like,
at
nope.
us and they're like, y'all don't, y'all
They're like,
think
no.
you're the, but you're not. you
They're like,
think
no.
you're doing it big, but you're not.
Yeah.
You know, you think you have it all figured out, but you don't. And I think, like you said, I really admire Gen Zs because they're like, they're what I want to be. Like, I want to have a I don't give a attitude.
Nice.
And for the most part, I do. But I want to be there 100%. Like, if you have any Gen Zers listening, teach me your ways, please. And here's the thing, it's not like they know everything. That's the thing,
That's the thing.
They don't have it figured out.
And they're okay with that.
Yeah.
And they're okay with that.
We have immense pressure, not just from our parents, but the pressure that we put on ourselves to kind of figure it out or have this by this age, have this. Them just come.
Like, no, I'm on TikTok.
Them might exist and they're living in the moment, and that's fine for them.
Fine.
Nice. But to wrap up that little bit, like you said, I really hope that we get somewhere in the world where we don't have to deal with racism or we don't have to deal with any traits
Martin
of
Luther
racism.
King said, judge people by their character, not the skin. Content of their character, not your skin color. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And
alrighty.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next topic on the In the Know segment, and it's about the 4-year-old that died under suspicious circumstances at, I think it's Desto Bennett Basic School. A lot of here's what I don't understand. Okay? Because first of all, I'm gonna say this right now. The teacher, the principal, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything that they've said. Either. I don't believe the circumstances under which they've said the child died.
I don't believe it because I am a teacher. That's why I don't believe it. There is too much missing from the story that doesn't make sense for me as a teacher.
Yeah.
And I don't even teach lower school, but I understand how lower school operates, and something is wrong. You not just come out of one course and check off. Every teacher worst nightmare is to miss a student. So immediately, and you have small ones, 4-year-olds, you go check off, Renee. Me I tell you, you check off. If me I check off my 9 and 7 or 8-year-olds, you go check off your 4-year-olds.
Yeah, and
something is not right.
As much as I remember from basic school, you had break time, lunch time. Every time you come back in, you're doing a checkup. You're checking their attendance to see if everyone is there. I think the father and the aunt of the child said that when they went to view his body, God rest his soul, at Children's Hospital, he was disheveled, he was dirty.
Right.
In the teacher's car.
How is a child?
Who didn't
dirty.
go to, didn't come out of the car. Yeah.
You not send him go school dirty, and him sit down in the car and die in the car, but dirty.
And the father made a very good point. He's saying, this is a 4-year-old.
Right.
There's no way nothing in that car is going to be untouched.
Right.
Nothing is going
to try come out.
Exactly. I think that the police that are investigating the situation, they're failing because first of all, the school's supposed to lock down completely. That's an active crime scene.
Hey, you're handling something overseas.
Whether it's homicide or murder or whatever she's trying to pin it as, the school's supposed to lock down. And I think the aunt, the aunt said that he had an older aunt, but she's still a child. She was coming home from school and she went to the school to look for him, and she didn't see him. So when she reached home or when she got to her other aunt's place, she's like, "Hey, my God, the school got look for Jordan, and he wasn't at school." And I think the grandma called and spoke with the teacher, and the teacher is like, oh, I think she said he's fine or he's not here or something like that. And then afterwards, she said she would call them back. Like a couple hours pass, she's calling, she's not getting anybody. Like after three, when she called again,
probably didn't know if it's no.
The principal, and that's what I'm saying. Based on the information that we already have, although you've taken the teacher's statement, you've taken the principal's statement, and they're saying that's what happened. Based on what other parties involved are saying, the school's supposed to lock down, the teacher and the principal are supposed to be held in custody.
Of course. This could never happen overseas, and I'm going to say it, this would never and could never happen at a prep school. Because these rich people are paying them money, but because I want a little basic school up the country up there, so.
And a country girl at town. Kings at Binary town.
Oh, Zine.
Big ups.
Sorry, I thought it was one of them country area. So because I want a little basic school, which I don't know if other persons know this, but basic school are barely managed by the government. By the way. There's always an organization, a church, a community. Basic schools are barely managed by government or business and basic school. That's our next conversation. But because I want to little man up the road, because him not look like the typical father figure. Because you listen interview little, and him talk little, I know my son, and so he's not going to go further. And it is sad because I tell us that this could never happen at a prep school.
Listen,
when the parents them fling lawsuit left, right, and center. Because I want little man up the road, and make me just.
I not fling no lawsuit, but school couldn't keep.
Yeah.
I not ask. I not ask the principal. I not ask the teacher. I not ask the Ministry of Education. School couldn't keep because I'm there every morning. I'm blocking it. Nobody is coming through the gates. Then when I have to call police to come lift me up, and when them lift me up, there's some family there, and one by one, them would I just have to lift up the whole away.
Sometimes
school
you have
couldn't
to stand
keep.
Up. You have to. Remember Emmett Till's mother. Remember when Emmett Till's mother did have him body, and she's like, no.
Don't close the casket.
Right. Go see what I do to my son.
Right.
Yeah. It's giving Emmett Till. Yeah. It's giving Emmett Till.
I realize that you're very up to date on your Gen Z
slang.
My
cousin, yes.
But I mean, it's sad. It's tragic. And what hurts me the most is that the teacher and the principal, they're using what happened with the police's daughter.
The forgetful syndrome.
Yes, they're using
That's not how it works.
They're using that to kind of escape the blame or escape
mental health issues. They not research about it first. Just research about it and pin like. I hate that.
That's the worst thing about it because it's like you're weaponizing someone's tragedy,
and that's exactly what they're doing. And I am not victimizing teachers. God forbid, I am a teacher and it could happen to me. As I told Renee last week, it could have happened to me. It could have happened to me. But I think we need to just get accountable for some things. Like, because if we'd make this slide and then one next teacher go say, all right, cool, we can make this slide. So just hold ourselves accountable and then probably just get help.
But even worse, Jay, as a parent, based on the information that's coming out, how do you feel comfortable sending your child to sit in front of that person?
That teacher again.
Or to be at a school where that principal is?
So all right, so my son dead in a car and all right, what closure? The people need closure to man. No, the better. Yes. And that's why society not like we.
Yes. Who's we, teachers?
Yeah. It's a whole other topic.
Oh, we can definitely discuss that. I have a few from high school.
The other day, the ministry said that they're not getting value for the investment they make in teachers. Ministry don't pay me. Ministry can't say that because me I'm a good teacher. Ministry, you don't pay me right.
Yeah.
I mean, no teachers were out of pocket at take it. As me say, one next. Hey,
we can discuss it next.
The next topic, because I tell her. And then the people that are ride through it though. No, like people them must say the same teachers were Canada and America they take away from the time and not get no value for the money. Same teachers.
But what? Excuse me. But was your education government funded?
No.
Either of your degrees?
No.
Is there?
I think so.
There are grants.
I think yes. But there are $30,000 grants for a $250,000 degree. Yeah. We go up every year.
Yeah.
So it probably the $280 now. When I started Samshad, the school fee was $215. When I was leaving Samshad, the school fee was $250. So every year it goes up. So I don't want to know how much now. And teachers' colleges are cheaper than universities.
Than regular, yeah.
So people who are going like UE and NCU, but that's another topic. Yes.
To wrap that one up, lock down the school
and do a thorough investigation. That's not nice. These are people's children. These are people's family members. Like, we do better. And
for the parents that are still sending their children to that school, I think it's a case of we take my time coming on about this seminar. I'm not picking something can't talk.
That's true. But
you can talk because you have to deal with them.
Right.
You're by proxy, you know. But you know, are these parents when they hear this story, are they sitting down and are they thinking, this could possibly happen to my child, and because of that, I need to find out what happened. Or are they saying, well, I never mind pick me, get up and go to school. Yeah, get up and go to school.
Some might say that.
To get the picnic out of the yard because I'm going to work, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then probably happy to school open up back now.
Both sides. I think they're both sides.
Yeah. But the
PTA can do something too, you know. PTA can do something.
The community needs to do something.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
You know, let's move on. We are in the season of Lent.
Yes.
You know what that means?
It means that Christian people are now going to pretend that they care about some things. And then after Lent, we go back to our dirty lives.
I like that you said we, because we're honest here, right?
So, you know, we post on social media, I'm giving up this.
What are you giving up? What have you given up?
I wanted to give up my job, but then I realized that I won't be able to buy Cafe Blue, go Fantana, Starbucks.
Wait, how long is like 40 days?
Yeah. So I'm like,
that's not even like a vacation.
I'm like, I can't give up my job. So I haven't thought of anything as yet. What are you giving up?
I wanted to give up Pepsi, but I've gone up to 2 bottles a day since I had, for sure you how, you know, to show you how the mind and the body and the spirit and the devil work. What? I wanted to give it. No, at the devil. At the devil fault. Because I was hell-bent.
Okay.
Giving up.
I think I can probably...
I'm giving up Pepsi.
I can probably give up fast food.
Yeah.
Fast food
but see, the thing is with giving up stuff for Lent, it's not just supposed to be random things, right?
No, it's supposed to be something
things that are impactful.
Yes, things
that you would yearn for.
Right. So it doesn't get between you and God. So it's something that, hey, this is preventing my spiritual growth. So let me try and give it up and get closer to God. That's exactly what it is. So for some people, for us, it might be like, you know, but some people is maybe on them phone, they need to put on them phone for 40 minutes and get closer. Right, but as I said, for me, I cannot give up my job, so I have to think about something else. Yeah.
Can I tell you, even when I was going to church, I don't think I ever took the season of Lent that seriously.
No, I think maybe Catholics do.
Okay.
Catholics, because Adventists, we don't do Lent.
Oh, yeah?
We don't do Lent.
Okay, so the stuff and that's what I was going to ask, like, you know, the stuff that people usually give up, it's very trivial. It's usually kind of health based.
Because when I was going to high school, my Catholic friends would talk about Lent. So I think it's a Catholic thing. I don't think every Christian does it. No, because Adventists don't do it.
Adventists don't do it. Okay. But if you are a practicing Christian and if you do practice Lent, hit us up in the comments and tell us what you're giving up for the season and how you are, you know, staying on track with that. What are some tips to ensure that you last? And our last topic in the no segment. Now, this one, by the way, I know I'm not the only one who thinks so because I showed Sanjay the video. I showed her the video and she said the young man, Delano Tucker, by now you guys have seen all of the videos.
Yeah, unless you live under a rock.
Yes.
Everybody.
Or if you don't have a phone, stop it, man.
But He come on TV.
He come on news?
Mhm.
I don't watch news.
Me neither.
I
Me not have TV.
yeah. Oh, it's a personal choice for me.
Me not have
I think. Can I tell you like side story? Yeah, CVM do it?
No, me not have none station. Me think me need one of something them.
What?
Antenna.
Then where you watch?
Netflix and Hulu.
Oh yeah, the internet. You know, on the
Me
internet.
have internet.
Then why don't they have streaming? Do they have streaming?
Yeah, One Spot
broadcast?
Media.
They have broadcasts for the news.
OneSpotMedia.com.
Okay.
But you have to pay for it. So I think you get like a free month subscription and then you pay like $1.99 or something.
Yeah. From me younger, me kind of tune out from the news. I
Me love
even the
news.
other day, I do not know what possessed me, but I tuned in, and the amount of mistakes they make I read the teleprompter,
Oh.
the amount of
Remember, we're not living in the
production
Doreen
problems.
Samuels and the Michael Sharp age anymore, so.
It should be better because that was back then, but the quality of it,
girl,
on top of
everybody's-
the fact that it's
Get
about
it out
sad stories.
Get it out of your head. This is a whole new ball game. Everybody can go journalism school now. There's no love for it anymore. God bless Dion Jackson. And Ian, rest him soul, and Doreen, rest her soul, and Michael. But it's a water
Didn't
now.
Michael die?
Yeah.
Wow, so like
You never know that Michael did it?
no, that's what I'm saying. Because you said rest your soul for Dion. No, Lord have mercy, what Michael have to
No,
do
not
for
Dion.
them.
Doreen. Oh my God. Doreen.
for the rain and Dion. Stop! What was the other name?
Michael.
No, it's three name you called
Oh,
before Dion.
Michael, Dion, and Ian.
Yes, right.
Journalism is
Remember what
dead.
I was going
Archibald is doing great. I love Archibald. He's doing great. But get it out of your head. Journalism is dead. It watered down. Blogging is a thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blogging and vlogging is a thing now. And
like I'm saying, I haven't watched the news in a while.
It's a whole nother topic.
I haven't watched the news in a while.
Yeah.
And so I would know that it was on the news.
Mhm.
But you know, the young man Delano Tucker, this brilliant young man from Guys Hill
Guys
High
Hill.
School.
Wonderful.
Yes, so there was
Wonderful.
a video
Can
about
I tell you that I love how the news has shifted from comedy when it comes on to interviewing young people. When I was growing up, I think the reporters would go and find the worst people in the community to interview from certain sections. But lately I realized that these young people, them, you know, they're so brilliant now, and when they come to do their interviews, you know, it's the standard English, it's them representing themselves well. I was watching the interview with the young lady, her brother got bitten by the dog. You never see that one there? She's so immaculate and stuff. But I just love that. I just wanted to point out that I love how he was well spoken and how he represented himself, even though he was in that condition. Loved it.
beautiful. So the Delano Tucker thing. So you know the video went viral. He's talking about the struggles that he has to face, and yet still, you know, he was able to finish school with 9 C-sex subjects.
9, and me have people when me live when I go through
9 C-sex subjects, and you know he's looking to, what's the name of that agricultural university? Yeah, that's where he wants to go.
Big up Case. I went to Case for a year. I hated it there, but I am happy for this young man.
Where you go Case for?
I went to do education. My father thought it would be best to leave Montego Bay and go to the country to do school, where I'm away from distraction. So I did a year there. I did not like it, and then I left.
Okay. Well, you know, that's where Delano wants to go, and he wants to major in I don't remember what it was, but it's about food security.
Managing food, yes.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a brilliant thing.
And it
why
hits
me never
home.
think about that?
It hits so
I'm
maybe
like, why me
maybe
gonna do
have you
something
had
I wanna
a
do?
lot of hungry nights?
No.
Have
So
you-
maybe never impact me. But
Yeah.
me used to beat the tree on the shoes and make them to them ABC, so I get it. So that's why me probably got on teacher.
So you see, I said that now I'm afraid to send my picnic in front of you guys. If I don't inspire you.
You can't even shout.
So Delano is getting a lot of help,
Yes.
right? But what we want to talk about is what's happening after the help. So there was this young man, Alex, who apparently was a schoolmate, and one of his videos went viral of him helping him out, and people have been sending donations and stuff like that.
Lovely. Can we talk about how much that's the Jamaica I grew up in? The Jamaica who would help. The Jamaica where my great grandmother would put food on the stove, and Mr. Tor said, "Where you go put in there?" And she said, "Me no know, but God go provide." And then 5 minutes after, you hear somebody say, "Emmy, I." And when you look in the past, is one of Emmy, my great grandmother's friend, with one basket on her head, with banana and yam and one bag of something.
Yeah.
That's the Jamaica I grew up in. Now the Jamaica here we are kill each other, and so this Jamaica where they might help him, that's the Jamaica me know.
Yeah.
So it was when I was watching the video, it was so nostalgic. Because me I said, wow, this my great grandmother always tell me about.
And it was very heartwarming. I think for me, what Delano's initial video, it was very touching for me.
Yeah, you see the part where him say, his mother would fry up
onion and garlic.
Me say,
me not
number one G. If me number one G, me say mother upon if ground mother the holler.
Okay, me don't know about onion and garlic.
Jesus.
In a bun aisle, but me know about bun in bun. Me know about dumpling and butter. If anybody try disrespect dumpling and butter,
that's a regular struggle meal for we who
sausage and
middle
rice.
class. So me not think a struggle meal. That's me I first made me not think so because
egg rice?
Alright, maybe egg rice, but no, me not. The mission what I was struggling it's just that me never struggle so much to do that bun aisle something there.
I've never.
Yeah. So when you think say alright, is the worst.
This is the worst you're experiencing. There's worse
and he was so casual.
You know what I loved about him? Like, it's almost like I felt his spirit through this whole. Like, he's humble, his aura is beautiful.
Beautiful.
But what's happening now is the young man Alex is saying that, politicians got involved with
I
them
totally
trying
believe
to help.
Alex 100%. 100%.
We stand with Alex.
Believe him 100%.
And because of that, it's not as if the mother or the parents are refuting his help, but it's becoming a lot more difficult because Alex initially had gone there to help to build a house, and he said when he got there were representatives for the politicians having the parents sign some papers to get one of the relief houses. Right. When you said the relief house, them are board and zinc.
Hopefully
Alex said,
it's one of the ones that you see the premise of build some other day. Some little tiny ones, but they're still effective. Andrew did a build some other day. I'm gonna share one, but hopefully one of those. But I get what you're saying, and as me tell you, 100% believe Alex because it's always how can I benefit from this situation? Always that. How can I restore some hope in the people from this situation? It is sad, but that is how the corporate world works. So I completely believe it, and that's how politics is. True. Oh, this is an opportunity.
Because
we zoom in on it.
Madam MP or Sir MP, you never know them done
the whole time.
Even the teachers, because there were so many follow-up videos of the mother saying, she don't know Alex from the, and he's this bad child that got expelled, and I'm like, but he brought a lot of attention to your situation. You understand me? Regardless of whatever past he may have, he's one of the reasons. Because I'm telling you, I have a work group and we're hell-bent on helping. And I called the number that someone gave me, and I was talking to him, and he told me straight on the phone. He was like, politicians got involved. Don't really know what's going on.
When politicians get involved too, and I can say this because I am a part of a foundation. When they get involved too, is a lot of paperwork. So it starts to become too official. Yeah,
and it lengthens the process.
And then, me tell you why to tax. Did you know that when you are a registered organization, whether you're a profit or a non-profit, you have to pay? You have to pay for the licensing, you have to pay for the yearly renewing, you have something there.
No.
Yes. So, it's a whole heap of something. So, I totally believe him, and as I said, I know politicians work. Any opportunity for us to take to restore some kind of love from the people. Oh yeah, say when PNP when help Delano, say when JLP when help Delano. So them swoop down and them take, and that's how politics is. I
think one of the sad notes of this whole situation is that the mother is now being positioned as this type of villain, right? And it, I'm looking on, and it's like she's. I'm not gonna say I understand where she's coming from. I don't think she knows what she's doing. I think that she's being manipulated by
100%.
By the
scandal,
MPs or whoever.
100%.
Yeah, because
100%.
they don't want So I don't like to see people on social media saying things like and that's why to help people and no, this isn't someone who is fully aware. She just knows that she get help for her family
and
right now.
Overwhelming too.
Yeah,
she's never been in this position
because they all look so shy and demure and reserved.
Me would look shy too. Social media is a horrible place.
It is, and I'm telling you, like the comments that you see under the videos of people being disrespectful and stuff. It's like, man, y'all chill. At the end of the day,
that's why me work hard and suffer, because
at the end of the day, the aim is to help Alex, and it doesn't help him for y'all to be disrespecting his family, especially his mother and all them somebody there. If you're gonna help the young man, help the young man and move on, regardless of whether or not you agree with her and what she's doing or what she's saying. We also need to be able to look beyond certain situations. Like clearly, the lady is overjoyed by the fact that she's getting help.
She's never been here.
Yes,
she's never been here.
Getting help, and every minute you see people up in her face with camera and her
like stop.
But Alex has since gotten back on board. He said that the MP reached out to him
because he cares.
And apparently he has a foundation. I think it's Love in Our Community or something. Let me tell y'all the name of the foundation.
And you say he's a school dropout? That's nice.
Yeah.
Young people must do things with themselves.
Yeah. That's nice. Doing Good in My Community, or Good in My Community. That's the name of the foundation. He's on YouTube, he's on TikTok, so you can definitely go and give him a follow. Let him know that you appreciate the work that he's been doing.
Yes. And I'm so happy for Delano. And he is going to change the world.
Yes.
I believe I can see it in one of them young people that will go come out and we go say, yeah, remember Delano and him that not. I am so happy.
And I think that as a community we have a responsibility to ensure that this young man doesn't fall
by the
wayside or succumb to.
I believe in him.
I mean, there's that, but okay, let's say that no, because it's fresh and stuff, people still ahead, and then come next year, the little help it start dwindling, it start dry up, guys.
He's got his scholarship, right? He's got his scholarship go pay for the whole 4 years. Yes, we hear when you say it. We see when you say we'll pay for the whole 4 years. But I am glad he's taking that road too, because we need more of this. Because I'm thinking when him said to himself, so why me never think about that?
I wanted. Look at me smacking the road. I wanted to be a farmer. Yeah. Growing up, I remember I was in high school. I was in high school, and I'll never forget geography class with Miss Baker. And she was going around, and everybody was introducing themselves. And I said, I want to be a farmer, and I want to work for the UN. Not necessarily in that order. I think I said farmer last, comedic timing, and everybody was laughing. And they thought I was joking, but I'm not joke.
But can we appreciate how we are moving away from that now, and saying you want to be a farmer is now cool?
Yeah.
I am so happy for these young people. I am so happy for them. When me there grow up, me know only 3 something you have to become. One teacher, one lawyer, or one doctor. That's all you have to become. You don't have another choice. No, you can be so much more. And I am so happy for these young people. I am so happy for them. You can be so much more.
All right. Our topic this week is conflict management. Okay. Where did I say?
Resolution.
I mean, that falls under the conflict management umbrella. So you want to tell us what conflict management is, Sandra?
Yes. So conflict management, according to what we research, is a process by which disputes are resolved. That's it. How you resolve your conflicts, how you resolve anything that arises that is bothering you. And the results can be minimized as positive results or negative results. So it's how you manage it that determines the result. And the key to manage your conflicts, we're going to talk about that. No, there are different tactics. You manage it differently in different situations. So
you tell me how you usually manage. Obviously, we're talking about conflict in the
workplace.
In the workplace,
Okay.
I think conflict within family. Let's touch on that real quick. How do you manage conflict within the family?
Within the family, you have to have a conversation, especially if you live in the same house. A lot of people, no man, me if you cut him off, I mean, I deal with them, and it's never the right way, because when things brew, and when it come out, when it's a brew, it could have been way better if you did just talk about it. So, let's say, for me, I have a very big family yard. There are like 1, 2, 3, 4 houses in my yard, and we live very lovely. I love my family. We live very lovely. But if there was a conflict, we would have to definitely talk about it, because I can tell you that when you don't talk about things, it gets worse. It's never better to malice. Never do it. But let's go cut you off. You can talk about it then and then decide if this is too toxic, I need to take myself away from it.
Yeah.
But always have a conversation first. Because sometimes, and I can tell you this, 80% of the time, it's a misunderstanding.
True. I think...
So if you went to, that you say, that you mean, you know, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Love my father's side of family. Love you guys. However, they live bad. When I say live bad, I mean this non talk, that sister you non talk, this one and mother non talk, this one and sister live so bad. Simple misunderstanding from childhood days, and they still live bad now in their 50s.
I have family like that. What I was going to say to you is, it varies by generation. I think that my younger cousins, they have a way better relationship than my mother's generation, or even the generation before her. I think that's where the generation like that's in between, we like our age, we don't really, one, we're dispersed all over. Two, I'm a big believer in cutting people off. I've suffered through having like weird conversations with people, and that sends my anxiety through the roof, and it puts me in a weird place, especially if I'm trying to communicate with someone that doesn't necessarily want to talk or isn't giving any energy to the
emotionally
conversation.
Unavailable.
Right. So I'm
full disclaimer for people who are emotionally unavailable. I don't like you guys. I don't like you. Continue.
For me, it's a matter of I just rather not deal with the situation,
and that's okay, because that's you healing and you processing. That's fine.
But what I found is, like, for the older generation, the toxic levels are...
When you hear sometimes you hear some story, you're like from a picnic, for me people and they like seeing people what?
I'm not complaining about, like, I like being in my own bubble. I like being in my own space. You understand me? And I feel like it's very important for us as young people to have those moments to ourselves, where yes, it's your family, it's your blood, you love them, and there's this saying that blood is thicker than water, whatever. But you know, there's a lot of trauma that comes with family, especially if there are people that haven't dealt with their trauma
and it passed down.
And if you're trying to heal, if you're trying to be a better person, not just for those around you, but for yourself, then you have to remove yourself from that situation. You understand me?
Totally agree.
So that's how I deal with it. But one of the key components about in resolving conflict, as you said earlier, is communicating.
Always communicate. Always. As a teacher, I have to effectively show that. Not only teach it, but show it to my students as well. So I always communicate with them. Why did you feel that you need to do that? Not just, why did you feel you needed to do that? Always have communication.
I think
and then
that,
you may hear the most bizarre things. They're like, then do you think you could have done it differently? Yeah. And then we feel bad and say, yes, teacher, I could have.
Yes, teacher,
Yeah, I could have.
I think that it's weird because when you have, for example, like a man talking to a woman or trying to get a woman's attention, there are no problems with communicating. You know, he's going to be very forthcoming. He's going to say exactly what he wants. But like
a different
in our
kind
culture,
of man,
in our culture, I feel like there's a genuine problem with communicating.
Yes.
And it begins in the home, and of course, it is going to spread into school. It is going to spread into work life. It's difficult when you have managers, when you have supervisors, when you have persons above you who are not good communicators, and it obviously is going to affect the work relationship, possibly even the level or the quality of work that
and
you're
trust.
putting out.
It affects trust.
Yes. Being in the BPO industry, have you seen where communication has affected, or lack thereof, has affected an employee?
Yes. And it affected me.
Okay.
Yes.
Give the story.
I don't remember which one. I think it was the first one. Or the second.
This is when you were 19?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Or 20. I was at this specific call center. They're no longer operating. And a specific supervisor said to me that, because I used to leave my work shirt a lot. We had to wear a work shirt, but because I'm coming from school, I used to leave it a lot. So the specific supervisor always said to me, just leave in your locker. You can wear it, crush up, or because I still work shirt, just leave in your locker so you'll stop leave it. And I still left it, and I had a sweater because you know these floors be cold. So I had my sweater and I zip up it all the way. And I don't remember what happened to the AC that particular evening, so I did have to take it off. So the supervisor that was there when I came to work didn't know so I not have my shirt. And I said to him, say, I have no shirt. He said, alright, zip up your something and go sit down right away. The supervisor that came in to take over, I guess him never tell her, or communication never take place there, so. And she see me now and every day come with a work shirt and she write me up. And I got 2 days suspension because this is probably my third time never have my shirt. So I got 3 days or 2 days suspension over it. And I'm saying, and the minute I try to talk to her, you know, but she just vengeance and because I'm going to say this, I'm a female and I am not one of those females that feel like I should always talk badly about females, but it's real. We don't like each other. We don't like each other. If it was a male supervisor, you know, hear what my officer say. But it was a female, she don't want to hear my officer, and I'm trying to explain to her that the supervisor before know what happened, know the thing, give me advice, and if you sit down about no make nobody see me Ray. I was going to explain. She don't want to hear all of that. She write me up 2 days, me lose pay 2 days. A struggling student. Remember say me you want to pay me 250 or 1,000 a school fee. Pan a call center. Yeah. Pay. And you make me stay home for 2 days. When we came back now, when I came back to work, because when you get suspension and you come back, you have to talk to the manager. And him said that, because he not even know.
But here's the thing, you see that right there, immediately, that is a violation of the labor law. Because regardless of anything that happens, unless it is, you know, specifically dictated in the handbook, that this is what this violation requires, this is the level that it goes to immediately, you have to follow through the process of writing people up. It don't matter if she tell you 50 times. If she never documented on paper, so I spoke with Jay and told her it could, because you can easily say that conversation never
happened, right?
Or even when you go in a meeting with your manager to say that, hey, I've spoken to my supervisor about this, they can easily say that conversation never happened. So that's one of the first tips that I can share with anyone who is, especially those young people just leaving high school. You don't necessarily have a mentor to show you the ropes in the corporate world. Anything that happens, write it down, even for your own purposes. When you go home, send an email to HR. If you don't want to put your supervisor on it, That is fine. Communicate with HR. And like I said before, HR is not there to protect your interests. HR is there to protect the interests of the company. But what you are going to do is you are going to cover yourself. So you're going to write that email to HR to let them know what happened on that specific day. You're going to include the date, you're going to include the time, and you're going to include any possible witnesses that would have seen whatever happened. You understand? Even if, listen, most of these places have cameras through and through. Whether they work or not, whether the IT people are taking care of the systems or not, it's a different case. But, you know, that's how you cover yourself. But we're going to talk about that part of conflict management. We're going to start with the communication because that's very important.
Very.
I've seen cases where, or I've been involved in situations where, you know, two agents are butting heads and it's literally a matter of a misunderstanding.
Always. I'm telling you 80% of the time.
So communication is key, right? And that's really one of the first steps to resolving conflict. It's having that open dialogue to find out why we're here. How did we even get to this point? And it's
am I the problem? Communicate with yourself too. Sometimes I feel like we always throw blame. Did I misread this, or am I looking too much into this? Because I don't believe in overreacting. I think your reaction is your reaction.
Yeah.
So I don't believe people overreact. So you want to react. But sometimes take a step back and say, child, let me chill. Because maybe she didn't even mean nothing like that. So let me just chill. So communicate with yourself as well. It's important that we realize sometimes. Sometimes I think we elevate and go up all the way. So you ever see some people, you're like, dude, are you cause all of this? And they can't realize it, them cause all of this. Communicate with yourself sometimes. Sometimes I hear a problem.
And in this step, you have to be very specific.
Very specific.
So, you know, you probably carry a grievance.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm poor me, no.
Yeah.
Are you not saying anything?
You understand? So tell me what I did. Tell me when I did it.
You know what I do?
Yeah.
It's alright. No.
Yeah.
Talk to me so we can come to some kind of agreement.
Or jog my memory. So I'll be like, oh, you know, I did
remember. Because sometimes, Renee, it's a problem to you. And poor me, just think I just...
Water off a duck's back. It's
so
not affecting me. The next step is to actively listen. You work in a call center, like that's one of the first things them, especially if you're on the phone. When you're in training, they'll tell you that you need to actively listen to the customer. You know, they're gonna call in, they're gonna be ranting about Pick out the pieces that matter. Focus on what is actually their problem. So the same thing applies when you're trying to come to some type of resolution in a conflict, right? You have to ensure
interrupting.
Yes, and ensure that you're listening to understand and not just
react.
Listening to hear or to react. Yes.
Understand.
Yes.
Yeah. That's very important.
And I think that for a lot of persons in the BPO sector, you know, we're kids. I'm gonna say we, because when I started working, the same. I was young. We're kids. You understand? We're coming from homes. We're coming from spaces where communication.
And this is our first job.
Yeah. Communication. The proper way to communicate is probably not necessarily taught, or it's not. It doesn't even exist. You understand me? And so a lot of the times you might be trying to say something. And you know, the way how you affect or the way that you communicate might not necessarily be palatable in the corporate world.
Yeah. As
supervisors, as managers, you have to know the difference between someone doing something to be disrespectful and someone doing something because they just don't know better or they don't know what's right. Yeah.
Be a butterfly.
Yeah. But then again, you know, this is another thing too. Once again, a lot of these supervisors who get positions in these companies, they don't get any training. And I want to say that is probably like 30%.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. I want to say that it's 30% their fault. Because when I became a supervisor, there really wasn't that much training. You understand? And I had to go and research things. I'm looking at YouTube videos. I'm looking at LinkedIn videos. Yeah. I'm trying to understand how I can better understand people so I can make the work environment better for them and myself. You understand? But as a supervisor, if you have you're essentially entrusted with these people you're supposed to care for them for the day or for however long they're on the team, for the hours them day in the space. Sometimes you have to excuse you from the moment. Like, look, a lot of times they don't look at things. I've been in meetings, I know they don't look at things from the agent's perspective.
Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm a supervisor, I'm higher than you, I'm and as such, remove the ego, please. You understand? You're dealing with a human being. You're a human being as well. Put yourself in their position. And like I said, you want to be very present, but also take you out of the situation. So you're present, you're actively listening, and this is for both parties.
Yeah.
You're present, you're actively listening, but you're removing you from the situation. Like, what would it be if this was someone else? You understand what I mean?
Be empathetic.
Yeah.
Not because, sympathizing and empathetic, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
And you have to be very careful, like I said, removing ego from the situation. Ensure that you're analyzing the conflict objectively.
Yes.
You're looking at
very
it.
Important.
Yes.
To be objective in situations like this.
And we find that a lot of times our feelings run things.
Yeah.
I don't like that specific person.
Yeah.
My last
and
job.
Know where they come from, and you don't know why they hire them people here, and the place run down.
Yeah.
Relax.
And people will just be so involved with themselves that they don't even see the bigger picture.
Them take things too personal.
Yeah. And it's like there's a whole company operating outside of you.
Yeah.
It's not that serious, boo.
Yeah, relax.
If you don't come here and disrespect me, or I don't come there and disrespect you, it ain't a thing. It's not even a problem. You know what I mean? But we want to ensure that we're being very objective, that you're looking at it with lens outside of what you think or what you believe, because your emotions are going to affect how you handle the situation. As an agent, you have to be more in control than the supervisor, unfortunately. And that is because, once again, I'm not going to stop saying this until you really understand. HR is there to protect the interests of the company. It's much easier to get rid of an agent than it is a supervisor.
It is.
You understand? And so as the agent, you have to ensure, or as the entry-level worker, because this isn't just in the BPO industry. It's everywhere. You're new there, you have to ensure that you're protecting yourself, and you do that by controlling your emotions. And I can speak from experience. You want to get it down pat.
All right, and ask questions. Don't sit there and ask questions, and ensure that all parties involved are there. It's one thing when my students get into it, I have to ensure that everybody is present. So I cannot be hearing something that happened to Renee from Keisha. Why Renee not in here to talk for Renee?
Yeah.
So ensure that everybody is there so you can ask the right questions, so you can get the information from everybody's perspective. Because you don't want to only hear from one party. That's a whole nother problem.
Yeah.
So ensure that everybody involved is there and everybody gets a fair chance to talk. I remember when I was doing peer counseling training in grade 7, and the guidance counselor said to us, ensure that whenever you're dealing with a conflict, nobody's back is turned, not even yours, because you know when the minute you turn your back, something go off, you never see something, and then so ensure that you are present, as Renee said. Ensure you are present and you're actively listening.
And some questions that you really want to ask to help you get to the meat of the matter, to get to the root of it, to uncover the problem. What triggered the conflict? Who are you angry with? What are you not getting that you want? What are you afraid of losing?
Is your conflict anger accurate or over-exaggerated?
Not according to Sanjay. It's not over-exaggerated.
Right, because for me personally, I just believe that people react. And how can your conflict resolve? How can we help you? What do you think? Yeah.
Another thing that's super important is maintaining confidentiality.
Yes.
This is a big one.
Big thing. Big thing. Before we get into it, I just have to say this. I don't like guidance counselors now because of something that happened in high school. Every single thing that these young ladies would tell the guidance counselor, me ear back.
Mm-hmm.
Me ear back everything.
Wow.
And because of that, me hate guidance counselors now. Me not like them. I don't think they're effective. And that is sad because me want to teach them if you ride for these people.
Mm-hmm. I can feel that.
And because of that, me not like them now. I would never tell a guidance counselor something. Never. Every single thing when my friend them in high school go through, once them tell that specific guidance counselor lady there, you know yourself. Once them tell her, we hear back. You know who pregnant, you know who have sex, you know. These people tell her them things in confidence, and because of that, me not like guidance counselors.
I think that stems, or a part of that is not respecting their job and not respecting the people that, you know, that trust them. So the next thing, so we've gone through communicating, actively listening. Mm-hmm. The next step is reviewing options. Yeah. Okay, you know, what can we do that is going to benefit everyone? What is a resolution that is going to also prevent this from happening? Which one is going to be effective in this situation? Yeah. A lot of times, especially even in our culture, we have this kind of band-aid approach to things. That's true. Where it's just, you know, oh, cover it up and forget about it. Right?
Worry too much.
Yeah. We don't really clean the wound. We don't prep it to receive the proper care. Yeah, we don't want to do that, especially in the workplace. When you think about it, if you work in an office, you are there 40 hours a week. How much hours in a 1 week?
Is this because I'm a teacher?
Yes, I expect you to know these things. I really expect you to know these things. 24 times 7. Data, you remember that from class of 73?
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Alright, so there are 168 hours in a week, right? You're spending 40 hours, maybe more, at work. Because even with a lot of these BPO companies, you're required to be there before your shift starts, at least a half an hour, so that you can prep. Yeah. You understand? You know, you get paid, but you're for dead. Yeah. Anyways, so effectively you're spending close to a quarter of your life
at work
for the week at work. It doesn't make sense that this is a toxic place. It doesn't make sense that this is a place that brings you discomfort. I remember a company that I used to work at. My body I'd wake up in the mornings, I'd feel, no, Jay, I'm alright. I get up in the morning, I sing, I bathe, I eat, I get on the way to work. And as I reach the building, it's like my body come down.
You start getting depressed.
Yeah. It's like my body shut off.
Me feel like that. Honestly, I feel like that. And as me reach, but me start early. As me wake up, me start to feel annoyed. Me have to say mantra. Me have to go in a mirror and say you're going to be fine. Let me have to do them white people something. Let me have to say you're going to be fine.
Listen, that's a problem.
You're going to be
saying
fine.
affirmations and taking care of your mental health is not a white people thing. It should be at everybody's thing.
And then when me reach, me get so angry and I start, even other than me say to Akina, say, me don't know who me, I don't know who I am. Me everything bother me, me angry, me just want to go on.
I need to leave. That's what being in a space that isn't
toxic for me, man.
That's what being in a space that isn't, very open or that isn't very constructive to your growth and to your mental and physical health will do.
And it's not even that my workplace is toxic. It's just that I don't like what I do.
That's going to affect it too.
Yeah. So
and that's another thing. That's going to affect your approach to a lot of things that you do at work. You understand? It's going to affect how you interact with other people. It's going to affect how you interact with your peers, your managers, vice versa.
Good thing me know how to compartmentalize. Yeah. So me know how to shove it when a man start, me know how to shove it. And a lot of the other teachers we can talk, we can joke about it, so that helps too. That helps too when we talk. But may I tell you,
Sanjay needs, guys, if you're a therapist,
Yeah.
Sanjay, link Sanjay.
Maybe.
But yeah, you want to talk over the best way forward.
And even though the article that we're drawing from says that you should come up with an answer immediately, I don't necessarily agree.
No.
Sometimes I feel like, because it's not all the time, sometimes I feel like some things need to go on, like sleep on and come back.
So not necessarily the conflict, but after we've had that initial conversation,
we say, all right, you know what, tomorrow, because this I get, for example, like some people like myself, when we heated, we settings.
Yeah.
And you know why in a moment, we're communicating, fine, we're communicating. And I'll go say something where, so sometimes I think, rest.
I think that with the proper training in the workplace, conflict management can get to that stage. I feel like what I've seen happen to a lot of times is, once something happens, obviously because you're trying to contain it and prevent it from escalating. They try to deal with it immediately or in that moment, which is fine to have that initial conversation, kind of get the parties to calm down, right? It's for quite a few situations I've seen where even like leaving it for another day or two, persons just deal with it themselves. Maybe it's a case
I never looked at that.
Maybe it's a case where they, like you said, they got heated in the moment, or they said where they did something, and then afterwards they go home for the day. They go home for the day.
What if I missing on my
No, it's not a fight thing. I've been lucky enough to have. I've been lucky enough to not have seen a fight at work. Not in the call center.
Well, if I meet out again, vibes.
But yeah, you can, if you guys are adult enough to do that without an intermediary or a mediator, then I recommend that you do it, because you have, as much as some supervisors behave like say them have the world on them head, them have this to do, them have that to do, them have that. Sometimes they do. I know one that never did anything, but anytime you see her come hustle and bustle, and anytime you see she type what is she typing? Nada, nothing. She's not doing anything but wasting oxygen. You know yourself. Anyways. But sometimes they do have things that they're dealing with, right? And so as adults, because as much as you're young, you are in an adult space and you're expected to behave like an adult.
Yes.
Right? So if it is that you can resolve the conflict without bringing anyone else in, if there can be an amicable conversation,
if you can just shut
without
it down.
disrespect, remove the misunderstanding, then that works too. If it cannot happen, get the supervisor involved, get the manager involved, get HR involved. I want to try and squash it. Try to get the best way forward.
And as I said, if you see that thing not going over there, so you can leave. I think sometimes when we sleep and things too, we like, and minute, what me even do that bother with that at work? So if it can be a case, if it want to attend and something deal with it right away, because we don't want nobody beat nobody at the gate and then something there.
And so lastly, it's ending with a win-win solution.
Try to find some common ground where everybody walk with okay. It's never, especially when I'm dealing with my students, and I have to talk from that perspective because I am now a teacher. When I'm dealing with my students, it's a win-win situation. All right, now I'm going to get the pencil. Right now, 4 pencils upon my desk.
So who win?
Nobody. Me win.
I can't have a bag of pencil.
Because me not gonna offer pencil. It's always everybody pencil. Teacher, I brought it up, and no, but I was fine. Give it to me. Nobody gets the pencil. So that's a win-win situation.
You can't break the pencil in half and then sharpen one and then sharpen
the. No, you don't make them start to not write them name. Carving, we use the carving with name in there. That's the only way I will stop the pencil problem. But
as adults,
winning.
We're not gonna take one pencil. But like she said, it's really about finding the common ground and accepting that and ensuring that everyone buys into that, right? Because you don't want anyone walking away from the situation feeling like
nobody
they
should
lost.
feel like they lost.
Yes.
Should feel like, all right, we get we
or
get
they got the end of the stick. Everyone should
we get we share upon.
Yeah. And I mean, I know of course, this is all we're saying this, and this is all theory, this is words. We know that in the moment, emotions and stuff going to be flying. Please learn how to control your emotions. Learn how to interact without the emotions as well. When you're working in the BPO industry, a lot of the times they'll tell you, if them come on the phone and them call you nigga, if them tell you about your mother, if they tell you about it not affect you because I know you them attack to da 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 da. I know
But
you
you
them.
know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
The people who work in these BPO sectors and they do customer service, one are worse to deal with. You get to your work and you come out, come give it. You ever hear them talk to people? You ever hear when them call Flo and Digital? You ever hear when them go in a Chinese place?
That is what trauma will do.
I guess. But
trauma is a cycle. It is the snake that is eating its tail. It doesn't stop. You understand? And so we have to ensure that as young professionals coming up, we break the cycle. And that's one of the reasons why we're creating this platform.
Yeah.
Because we don't want persons coming up to make the same mistakes that we did.
Yes.
Right? And we do want you to be able to exist in your adulthood, be able to exist in providing for yourself and being independent without having all of those negative thoughts, those negative feelings that we had to deal with when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Right? So when trying to resolve a conflict, ensure that you care. You have open communication.
You actively listen.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
You review the options, and you end with a win-win situation.
Even if the win-win disguises itself as both win or lose, it's still a win.
Yeah.
Because it therefore means that nobody walked away a winner and somebody else walked away a loser. Balance the thing.
And then also,
take away the pencil.
Also, a huge tip is, if you not cost life, you not cost nothing.
True. Sometimes we need to just walk away.
Yeah.
What did Jamaican saying?
You walk away, you live to fight another day.
Yeah. Some walk away and fight next day. Yeah, that's saying there. Sometimes we just need to walk away. Tell myself, so you know what, it's not worth it. Me have to tell myself that a lot. I deal with dark parents.
I'm learning that. Before a younger me.
You have to learn that when you're working on
we
school.
Tussle.
Sometimes they say something to me and I say, Father God, do. Yeah, so you have to get to a place where, because you work all of yourself and nobody have time to look 50.
That's true.
So,
it does
work
age
with
you.
some things, man.
And maintain your sanity, protect your sanity by just letting it go.
But if it's a case where you have to stand up for yourself, always do that.
That we're definitely going to be talking about that because 100. We need more of that happening.
Can I tell you that I started to stand up for myself at 25? A lot of people say me now, oh, you're confident.
Better late than never.
Never always, but we'll talk about another time.
Better late than never.
Yes.
Wow, that's it for this episode.
That's it.
Yeah, I really hope that some things that we talked about connected with you guys, and you'll be back to listen, to watch next week.
Hope it helps.
Yes. And if you do practice anything that we talk about, if you do take away anything from today, the main one for me, what I would recommend is the writing things down.
Yes.
Whenever it happens, write it down.
Have a logbook.
Yes. Do your email. If you do it in email, it can't last. Can't last if you do it in email. You understand me? That's one of the ways that you can ensure that you protect yourselves should it ever come to the point where someone is questioning your integrity or, questioning whether or not they can trust you or questioning your morals and all them. Somebody you pull up the paper and say, hey, this and that day, such man, such woman, did they there for see it. You understand me? Yeah. Well, that's it for our episode. Bye, guys.
Thank
See
you, everybody.
next time.